Government considers tax exemptions for investors in health tourism. That's our top story in our Barbados Today morning news update for Wednesday, April the 4th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. The Barbados government is considering offering tax exemptions to professionals and entities that invest in health tourism. The announcement came from Senior Medical Officer Arthur Phillips as he addressed yesterday's opening of the Caribbean Dental Congress at the Accra Beach Resort.
The Ministry of Health is supportive of efforts to invest in health tourism, and the ministry continues to examine proposals from various associations as well as individual practitioners who make cases for tax exemptions based on good business projections, and works with the other government departments, including Invest Barbados, in considering and supporting these proposals where it feels that there is benefit both for the practitioners as well as for the wider country.
Earlier, when he spoke at the same ceremony, Chairman of the Caribbean Dental Congress, Dr. Victor Eastman, called on the government to scrap taxes on the dental profession.
The government may make money from imposing taxes on the equipment coming in. They don't want it to come in duty-free, so they impose a tax on it. But they could make more money if we really had the best equipment here and we looked at this country as a health tourism product. Not only that, but without the taxes, people like this guy next to me, Sean Matthews, may change his mind and come back to Barbados because he knows it's not going to be that expensive for him to come and work in his own country. But we're deterring a lot of our own people from coming back and working here by this imposition that is placed on our profession. So I would like to see that tax removed, and I'm sure the dentists will then be able to buy very updated equipment.
Meanwhile, visiting Barbadian facial reconstructive surgeon and professor of surgery in the United States, Sean Matthews, is looking to return home and establish a center for facial reconstruction. Professor Matthews said he has already applied to the Barbados Medical Association as a first step.
I've held a long view to try and establish a center here in Barbados and in the Caribbean to treat patients with facial deformities, something we do not currently have as far as I'm aware, and something which I think we desperately do need. There's no reason why, if we have the expertise here in the Caribbean, why patients should have to get onto a plane and fly to Miami or Canada or the UK to have these injuries treated. If we have the skill mix right here, why not do it here? That's the kind of thing I'd love to be able to bring back home to Barbados and to the Caribbean.
In other news now, Opposition Leader Mia Motley says the money wasted on cost overruns for the Valerie and Grotto high-rise housing complexes could have been better used to build waterborne toilets across the island. Addressing the opening of the St. Michael South Constituency Office on Culloden Road Monday night, Motley blamed Prime Minister Francis Stewart for overseeing spending on those housing projects and wasting taxpayers' money.
And when he looked at the issue of housing, between Valerie and Grotto, they decided that they were going to do some high-rise housing. And at this high-rise housing, the contractual prices would have worked out at about $550 a square foot for low-income housing, you know, for poor people housing. Prices that are way higher than what Reverend Curtin will find on the West Coast where he is the preacher. Right on the coast. And what you got instead was $24 million being spent on Valerie and $28 million being spent on the Grotto.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. A captain in the Guyana Army has shot his wife dead and then surrendered himself to police. We pick up the story in this HGPT News report.
In a statement given to police, Guyana Defense Force Captain Owen Sandy, who is also the Chief of Staff's aide-de-camp, said that his reputed wife, Riona Payne, had been unfaithful to him, and that's why he shot and killed her. Investigators now know that the couple had been embroiled in a bitter argument on Saturday, in which Captain Sandy had accused Payne of having a relationship with an overseas man who is said to be in the U.S. Army. Police know also that Sandy had found out about the relationship Payne had with the overseas man and begged her on Saturday to call him and end the relationship. An argument ensued, and according to Sandy, Payne grabbed his licensed firearm and threw it out the window of the car. She then exited the car while Payne had gone in search of the gun. He later found it and, in a fit of anger, shot the woman and killed her.
And on the international scene, a woman opened fire at YouTube's headquarters near San Francisco Tuesday, wounding at least 3 people before taking her own life, as employees of the video website scrambled into surrounding streets for safety.
Police believe the suspect in the YouTube shooting is dead, and they say she was a woman.
We have 4 victims who have all been transported for gunshot-related injuries. And we have 1 subject who's deceased inside the building with a self-inflicted wound that at this time we believe to be the shooter, but we're still following up on that. It's a female, but the investigation is still ongoing.
Around lunchtime Tuesday, police responded to an active shooter at the headquarters of YouTube in San Bruno, California. Witnesses described seeing blood on the floor and stairs, and casualties were reported. As news of the shooting broke, authorities in the city south of San Francisco warned people to stay away from the address where YouTube, which is owned by Google, is based. Aerial footage from the scene shows a massive police presence, with cops patting down employees to search for weapons as they are evacuated.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.